So I spoke to a small business in the home service industry through my coaching last week, and he was pretty down. I mean, they've been in business, I don't know, 7 years, had 10 people, everything seemed to be going good, just needed to know how to grow more and continue to grind it out and expand. And so we've been talking for a couple weeks, but he called me last week and he said 5 of the 10 people walked out same day. I told him, I said, anybody that's been in business long enough has had to deal with that or will deal with that. And I said, it takes tough-mindedness to get through this, because you will get through this. It will be better than before. It just takes a little time, and it's hard. There's nothing simple about it. We have went down at one time. We have went down to just a couple crews in install. We have went down to just a handful of people in service, and it happens. And sometimes somebody causes something, and other times negativity spreads, and people aren't strong-minded enough to understand that they don't have to follow everyone and they don't have to listen to everything, and it just causes chaos for a company who's basically risking their capital, an entrepreneur risking their capital to grow a company, hire people, and provide jobs, for themselves, for their families, and for their team. It's tough. That's why we're going to talk about today. That's why 95% of companies and entrepreneurs throw in the towel within the first 10 years. So today we're going to title this thing, The Mindset That Outlasts the Storm. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Hey, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss steps to successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to the next level, whatever that level might be, and ultimately follow your dreams. The mindset that outlasts the storm. Now, if you like this stuff, be sure to hit that like button there for me. That really helps me. And if you have any comments along the way, don't hesitate to leave them. Okay, so here are some strong key reasons why most successful entrepreneurs and high-level managers don't allow discouragement or despair to take them out of their game. Okay? Number one, they expect resistance. See, they just expect the storm. They just expect problems. It's not like they go in every day looking for them, but they're ready for them because they know from experience things can happen. Things can fall apart. People can walk out. We talked about this a few weeks ago about the small-mindedness of some people, where they don't have what it takes to come in and put their 2-week notice in. They just walk out, they park their truck and walk out, and they think they're great and wonderful and big, but they're actually very small thinkers. But they expect resistance. So the best entrepreneurs and the leaders know that challenges are part of the package. In other words, when you go into business, you need to know. I wish nobody takes really a good class on starting a business. Now, I do give counsel free to new businesses that are just getting started up, and I'll give them an hour or two worth of, hey, this is what to look for, this is what not to do, those types of things. I don't charge for that because I know most of the people that are doing that have very little money, okay? I know I didn't have any money, and I would have really appreciated it. It would have saved me a lot of headache, pain, heartache, tears, everything else, right? So, but they're ready for it, and the storms of life can be tough. Let's face it. Some of the stuff you guys have went through, it's tough. It is hard. It will make you cry. as an adult. It will make you cry. It will make you question, why am I doing this? Why do I care so much for people and they let me down like this? It is tough. It is not for everyone. It is for the very few people who have what it takes. And then they find out once they get into it, within the first 10 years of just things going wrong and things not happening right, and they just throw in the towel. They say it's just easier to go work for someone else, probably make more money. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is not to say don't go in business. It is the American dream. That is not to say don't have high goals. It is the American dream. It is not to say don't have the drive to grow your business, because I had that drive for 35 years and I still have that drive today. But I know for 35 years, I've experienced just about every kind of heartache and every kind of pain without major death in my family or major death to my business. Okay. So they understand, though, that it doesn't last long. The storm doesn't last long. A storm is for a short period of time. Now, it seems like it lasts long when you're in the middle of it. It seems that way, but it really doesn't. It doesn't last long, and time heals everything. Time, it calms down, the storm calms down, and the sun always comes out tomorrow, okay? And that's what we need to know, because it does. And I used to have a saying, I wrote it down. Things aren't as bad as they originally seem. It's that simple. Things aren't as bad as they originally seem. When it first happens, it's the end of the world, especially for the first time. When 5 people out of 10, that's 50% of a company, walks out, it is a major letdown. It is, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pick up the pieces? But we do. It takes time. And the comeback has always been stronger than the setback. Always. Always. And that's what keeps me going. When we have setbacks today, the comeback's always stronger. And I'm to a point now, I just don't let people hurt me. I trust a big God. And yes, I've said this before on this show, which I had some little lowlife challenge me the other day on this. And I say that truthfully, a little lowlife. God owns your business. He challenged me on that. So God owns your business. Absolutely. And you just manage it. Absolutely. And that's the way it is. Because I know I don't own anything. I don't own this. I don't own anything. It all belongs to God. He could take it away like that. He can take away my house. He could take away my business. He could take away my health anytime he wanted. Read the book of Job. It's pretty obvious. All right, number 2. These kind of people stay mission-driven, not emotionally driven. Their emotions may fluctuate, but their purpose does not. And purpose keeps them grounded when feelings get heavy, because feelings will get heavy. But emotions are feelings. And they are fickle, and they can change by the minute depending on the circumstances of what's going on. And mental toughness must be learned. It's learned. Mental toughness is learned. You're not born with it. I use this illustration all the time, but when I lost 100 pounds, I would go home after a long day, and my mind would say, just take a night off. You don't need to do cardio tonight. You don't need to go walking tonight. You've had a rough day. The first thing I had to do, which I learned from the book Atomic Habits, I had to go get my workout clothes on, because that's the first thing I had to do. Once I got my workout clothes on, I know I'm following through with my workout. So it is extremely important to follow through. If you're going to be tough-minded, is to tell your mind, we're doing this tonight. It's not an option. See, when you start training your mind for mental toughness, it will become a habit. And you will also know, and you will sense when your mind's trying to tell you the opposite. Your mind, it's extremely strong, and God made it. But sometimes it takes the least resistance. It takes the easy way. I don't know why. Now, once you train it, it'll go the hard way. It'll go the tough way. It'll push you, but you have to train it, and you have to talk to yourself. Be careful what you say to yourself. If I come home and I feel tired, I should just sit on the couch, I probably will. But no, tired's not available right now. Tired can be later on in the evening, in the night. And right now, I'm going to go down and I'm going to do cardio. I'm going to do a few other things. I'm going to stretch good. And then I'm going to come up, chill for a minute. Then we're going to eat dinner. I can get tired later, but I got to get that workout in, okay? And in order to lose I lost 100 pounds, in order to do that and keep it off, I've got to keep pushing myself. And mental toughness is the key for me. So it is mental toughness must be learned in order to stay in the game. Now, I found this very interesting. I thought about this as I was writing this, rather. I talk a lot about the 95% of entrepreneurs that throw in the towel within the first 10 years. But I did a study. I looked up a study by Sifted, S-I-F-T-E-D, the 2024 survey, and its insight into mental challenges and faced by startup founders. 61% of founders reported they're considering leaving their company. So 6.1 out of 10 right now are considering, could be higher today, 6.1 out of 10 are considering leaving their company, closing the doors, or selling it, or doing something for these reasons we'll get into. Not just because they planned on selling it, but because they have to sell it. 49% indicated they were contemplating doing so within the next coming year. And 85% experienced high stress in the past year. Let me tell you something. 50% of your team walking out on you causes extremely high stress. 75% reported feelings of anxiety. It can be overwhelming, guys, and you need to know going in on this, it can be overwhelming. It is not for the lighthearted. It is not easy. There is nothing, anybody that thinks starting a business and working for yourself is easy is wrong, because there's nothing easy about it. It's extremely hard. And 53% suffer from burnout, according to the survey from Sifted. These figures suggest that emotional and psychological factors such as discouragement and despair, which is exactly what we're talking about today, play a significant role in the entrepreneur's decision to consider stepping away from their biggest dream and venture. Now, some of the common causes of the entrepreneurial discouragement were financial pressure, challenges in securing funding and maintaining cash flow, cash is king, growing too fast and thinking you've all got it, you got it down and you're growing fast and you're going to be a huge company one day. It'll put you under faster than lack of capital. Work-life balance was in there. Long hours and blurring of personal and professional boundaries. And you have to determine, I've asked some people what they think long hours are, and they thought 50 was. I've already told you, for years, I worked 80 hours a week. I know people who have worked 90 hours a week, and you can draw the line somewhere. That's too many. However, I did whatever it took to survive. As I've mentioned 100 times on this show, the first few years was nothing but survival. And then another cause is isolation, lack of support from anyone. We just don't have a lot of support for an entrepreneur. There's not a 1-800 support team we can call and get help. And that's why we have coaches. That's why we have consultants. And that's why we have other organizations that help entrepreneurs. You got to get involved in that. The ACCA is great for that. They've got the mixed group and stuff like that you can get involved in. And then you got just plain burnout, chronic stress leading to physical and emotional exhaustion. And then, of course, market challenges, struggle with the product market fit and customer acquisition and, how many quote competitors do you have and all that kind of stuff. So addressing these issues through support networks, coaches, teams, and strategic planning can help us navigate the challenges and reduce the likelihood of quitting due to discouragement. All right. We got a few more here. Number 3 is they move forward no matter how they feel. Okay. Winners don't wait to feel like doing something. This is the key here, folks. They understand that discipline carries them when motivation dies out. You can't stay motivated 24/7. It's impossible. So you've got to have discipline. You've got to have tough-mindedness. If I personally waited until I felt like doing something, I'd never get anything done. The mental toughness must kick in. And for me, it's telling my mind, you've got this. Now let's make it happen. Every time I get on my elliptical machine, I look in the mirror in front of me and I say, you got this. It's easy. Now let's go. Every time. And number 4, they see problems as puzzles, not as proof that they should quit. A problem is not proof you should quit. A problem is a puzzle. Does it get you down at times? Absolutely, but we don't stay down. It's a short period of time. We get down, but we don't stay down. Staying down is not healthy. Staying down will put you under. Staying down will make you make poor decisions. And staying down will bring your entire team down. Discouragement might visit, but they treat it like an unknown visitor at the door. They don't let it in. Boom. Exactly. Number 5, they decided that quitting is not an option. I tell my mind every day, quitting is not an option. We're not failing here, folks. We don't fail until we quit. So I'm not quitting. The best don't entertain despair because they already made the decision to finish what they start. Mental toughness, again, matters. What you tell yourself and how firm you are with yourself. You can't be easy on yourself. It's tough. It's called tough-mindedness for a reason. You got to be tough with your mind. You got to be tough with you. I don't know about you, but I have to be tough with me. I like that. I mean, Marine Corps boot camp, was it fun? No, but it was discipline, and I liked that. And I like someone telling me how it is. I said today, don't blow smoke. Just tell me how it is. I'll deal with tell me how it is over blowing smoke and then stabbing me in the back later. I can't stand that. Number 6, they know storms don't last, but strong people do. That's a good one. They trust that adversity they face today is building that toughness for tomorrow, and they're going to need it for tomorrow's success. You see, watching 5 guys walk out the door and quitting and not being able to do anything about it, that's a major letdown, but it's not a letdown forever. It's a letdown for a day or two. That's about it. And then all of a sudden you put out an ad or you put out a word on social media and you got 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 people at your door, and pretty soon you got someone better than you had, and pretty soon you've hired 5 or 6 or 7 people, and you forget about that walking out the door crap. And that's how it works. So know this, the ones who rise highest are the ones who refuse to bow down to discouragement. Discouragement is not my God. God is my God. The ultimate Jehovah, my God, is my God, and I go to him. And at times I question, God, why is this happening? I think he appreciates that. And I still have to ask, why is this happening? Now, there are some things that we're not going to know until we get to heaven. But there are some things I just would like to know now. Why is this happening, right? It's human nature. So, but they don't deny the pain. They just outlast it. Boy, I'll tell you what. If you can outlast the pain, if you can outlast the discouragement and despair, if you can outlast this feeling that you're having because of what someone else caused, you will get through this stronger, better, faster than anyone else, and you will be ahead of the game within 6 months to a year. And that's all that matters. Think about that. Okay, before we wrap up, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Keep listening. I'll do my best to keep challenging you. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Greg McAfee Show. No spaces, no underscores. Be sure to tune in next week. I've got some good stuff planned. Thanks for listening. And as always, carry on. God bless. Make this day the best day of your life, because we're not promised tomorrow. I'll see you later.